So I hope you can see my screen now. Okay. So good morning, everyone. We'll be sharing our project. We're group 2, and we'll be sharing our project on zeroing Malaysia's footprint. So when you hear the word food, you probably have a lot of thoughts in your mind. Here's one that I'd like to share with you guys. Cues come to my mind when I hear of food. You have cues for starvation, like when you're queuing up for people queuing up for food at the food banks, and then you have cues for abundance when you have queues at the buffet, for example. And this is a stark contrasting reality that every nation faces today, and it is also a concern for climate change. Whether it's a concern of lack of food security caused by the climate change, or it's a cause of concern because of the large amounts of food waste that is being generated, sent to the landfills, causing emissions, and then that's causing the climate change. So untreated food waste is a cause of concern. As I mentioned, it could contribute up to 8% of the global greenhouse gases. If it was a country on its own, it would be the third largest emitter. In Malaysia alone, you have 15,000 tons of food waste being generated on a daily basis. Now, where does this food waste come from? We have a typical food supply chain here, and you do have food waste or loss at almost every stage. But at the retail stage, which is the consumption, you have around 13% of the food waste being generated. And this food waste is of two types. You have the edible food waste. Basically, you can consume it. Maybe it's just a bit past the expiry date or the best by date, or it's just a bit squished up, things like that. The other one is the inedible food waste, which is basically your organic food waste, which is peels, bones, and spoiled food, things like that. So in Malaysia, the inedible food waste, which is the preparation waste as well, contributes up to 75% of the Malaysian waste. And all of this goes to the landfills. And in the landfills, the food degrades, creating emissions, which is a big cause for concern. Now, the question comes up, can we capture this carbon emissions? And the answer is yes, we can. There are multiple options out there. And the best option that we found for food waste is using anaerobic digester as per a study on the life cycle assessment. So this one has the least environmental impact. Now, Malaysia does have some of these anaerobic digesters for generating biogas and capturing it. However, it has not implemented it for food waste specifically. And one such location is Bandar Sunway in Malaysia, which is also where my university is. So a bit about this location. This location is in the state of Selangor, and it's a green township inside the city of Subang Jaya, basically. This was built on the vision of Dr. Tan Sri Jeffrey Chia, who actually transformed this from a waste-thin mining land to what you see today here. Now, why Sunway? It is actually a good model and a case study for emerging cities in Asia. It is built on the model of 15-minute city. So basically everything you see here is accessible within 15 minutes, whether it's the universities, the medical center, the resort, the hotels, or the malls. So you can walk, you can take the public transport, and you can also take your car as well. But again, this city has not addressed the issue of food waste management. We do have a lot of restaurants. Almost every place has a lot of restaurants and food service sectors available, but only 4 of them are engaging in a recent initiative, which was launched in 2019, the CPR initiative, which is Compost, Plant, and Reduce. So this initiative was started at the Sunway Pyramid, which is the mall, and it collects about 3,000 kilos of food waste, but there are only 35 partners in this program. So there are lots more, about 100 more within the mall itself, and then there's lots more from the nearby neighborhoods who are delivering food to this area as well, that need to latch on to food waste management. So here's our solution for this problem. Ajay?
Thank you. Hi, good morning all. Basically, our aim is to reduce the carbon emissions from inedible food waste, and our target is mostly focused on the hospitality and food service sector. So, as research have seen that about 78% of the energy is generated in Malaysia um, from the fossil fuels, right? So our main focus is to collect the waste and let me convert into the biogas. And for this, the first icon, as you see, that we have we can increase the renewable energy mix while reducing the food waste volume, because also there is the thing that we can convert the biogas to the electricity. So we can also develop the digital monitoring system prototype for effective food waste management, which is seen in the number 3 figure number 2. And also we need to raise the awareness among the stakeholders and also encourage the dialogue among the stakeholders. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, for this, I have taken the case from Nepal, that the by waste to energy, sorry, by waste is converted to biogas, and which is again converted to CNG gas and have been filled to auto rickshaw in the eastern part of Nepal. This is the case study. And next slide, please. And also I have taken another part, another case study from the western part, in which the electricity is generated 354 kilowatt of electricity is generated from the west. This is the, though this is the from the uh, livestock waste, but similar kind of thing can be developed, because the same thing is the biogas is developed in the Pokhara of Nepal, from the hospitality sector and the restaurant waste. So this is the similar case. So I have taken this, as this can be the waste can be converted to biogas. Similar waste of biogas plant also exists in Nepal. We have found that one pilot plant at Seri Serdang Wet Market nearby Bandar Sunway is converted 2.2 tons of food waste into electricity, which is almost 715 kilowatt hour per day. Next slide. That took a from this slide, we can see that our proposed digital monitoring system will let us know how much, what type of where food is was generated, and we will be combining existing technologies to create the digital system. Also, we will partner with food delivery apps to tap into existing networks for food service and service provider reward system. Firstly, we can adopt the smart bins to automate the process of logging waste generated, and the existing technology that are using are the companies like Kitro and Linpath, who could be using the weighing waste, taking pictures of food thrown inside the bins, and automatically create the digital logs. Second, we need to estimate the carbon footprint, so we will use the existing calculators to know how emissions can be saved. And about the emissions calculator, our friend Rhadit will explain somehow something about you in next incoming slides. So we will do this by connection the smart bins to family reward system and available in our partnering food delivery apps. Similarly, third, we need to know about the places or hotspots for food waste. So this will make it by visualizing these hotspots, we can also plan the required infrastructure for biogas plants, and which will make us easier to convert the food and waste into biogas and electricity. Next. Now it's over to you, Radit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ajay. I'm going to explain on slides regarding our solution for implementing this strategy. So we use the concept of the triple bottom line, focus on people, planet, and profit. The first one is people. These activities aim to inspire people to live healthier without wasting food. So we set up workshop to nudge eco behavior. And the second one is planet. So we could introduce calculators for food waste impact and management. And the last one is profit. So we collaborate with stakeholders to increase economic opportunities. So we set up training and skill development, and we create a fun strategy. Next. So this is the Grab features. Through these heat maps, Grab, that is ride-hailing services, will provide information regarding the low, standard, and high demand in each area. So this heat map represents and can be used to monitor the extent of food waste generated, and will make it easier for us, for implementers, to observe the amount of food waste that is available in several places, generally in restaurants, cafes, and hotels. Next. This is the education tool to increase awareness. So due to limited time, I presented only one food calculator, IGA. Next. Of the many calculators available, the IGA food waste calculator will be introduced by consumers. So in these apps, we can see from the food that has been thrown away, it can be seen how much energy was produced, water used, and how much money was spent. Next. And this slide depicts the social enterprise model. So our main source of funds will be getting investment from private organization, Grab and Sunway. So we know Grab is super app that includes food delivery services, and Sunway is the owns most of the property in Bandar Sunway, Malaysia. Besides investment, we will look into fundraising efforts by directly engaging with the consumer via workshop. So this workshop will also prepare consumers to embrace our expansion efforts into residential sector. And then we could also develop social activities, for example, planting trees or use liquid fertilizer generated from biogas plant. Okay, the next slide is presented by Alokita.
Hi. On the implement strategy, so we divide it into 3 features: people, planet, and profit. So about the people, we expect the changing and building the skill for the workers and the useful to use useful technology, increase the efficiency the produce, and we expect enhance the awareness of the consumer about the planet. So we hope to build the localized developmental indicator and monitoring to minimize which contribute to protect the environment. And about the profit, so after conducting this project, so the policy for the Manhattan way to promote the collaboration and technology will be released and applied as a large profit. And we expect the strong agreement in the stakeholder engagement. Next, please. So as we mentioned that the output belongs to planet features, so the measure indicator is necessary. It's in the 3 factors: the food to biogas, the digital monitoring system, and the stakeholder engagement. About the food to biogas take. About the feature and the unit on the slide to deal with the conversion of food waste to energy. Next, about the digital monitoring system, so we'll enable extraction to extensive statistical information on the quantity and composition of food waste in this slide. Next, please. About the stakeholders, so we target to have the strong connection to the engage at least 55% of food services provided in these places. For the consumer engagement, more qualitative indicator will be used based on the social activity conducted. Next, please. About the expected outcomes, so it belongs to change in the institutional and behavioral capacity for development conditions. So there are 3 points for changing behaviors for food waste separation to the effective use environment friendly technology, and the last is the established collaboration network. And next is Alokita.
Yeah, hi. So now, based on the model which Rhadit explained, we will be having the multiple stakeholders at every level. For example, we will also be engaging NGO, local governance, consumers, and industries and universities, and engaging in the various campaigns. At the local governance level, we will be establishing the local food to gas, biogas facilities, and developing infrastructure. And the industry level, we will be engaging with the local food delivery app at universities. We will be engaging with the youth engagement, and also at the consumer level, we will be engaging with the various food delivery apps and the restaurants, for example, Food Panda, etc. So that's how at the center, they will be our team. So in the next slide, I will be explaining about the mitigating. We also anticipate a lot of shocks and such challenges. So at the food sector, we think that there will be a little lack in that technology adoption at the initial level. So we will be adopting the various nudge behaviors and also the consumption behavior change by reward system, etc. And since pandemic has already taken place, so based on those learning, we will engage those learning in our sector also, and assign emergency roles, trainings, etc., and provide infrastructure to create food separation. So that's how we plan to mitigate the challenges. So we have divided the project timeline into 4 phases. In the first phase, we will be engaging and establishing the platform. So that we aim to achieve by 2022-24. And the phase 2, we aim to establish the food infrastructure by 2028. Then in the phase 3, we aim to have engaged at least 50% of target market in the Bandha survey by 2020 for the tech adoption. And once that platform is established, we will be expanding our project to other system by 2025. Yeah. Next, yeah. So this is our team.
Yeah, this is our team, and we'd like to wrap up our presentation over here. Thank you.